Come on, man. What do you think that he would say to me right now to give me advice on my life?
Choo-choo fireman?
Yeah.
Like, there's some problems getting ready to your grandma's house. Your grandma's giving a lot of problems. Sometimes you gotta put a pillow over a grandma.
This is good.
Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network.
Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. The show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, but please won't you call me her Black Backlash? What are you laughing at, Captain Philip Rest?
I love these.
Love what?
Your names.
Name. Call me Jason. Or call me her Black Backlash. That's always been my nickname.
Right, that's true. I keep forgetting.
That's fine.
It's like Dustin from Drunken Lullabies. He's had 47 nicknames, and I don't know which one to call him on my own show.
The Dapper Caster?
Yeah, but the last time I called him The Voice, and you corrected it. It was so smooth. You're like, The Voice.
I don't remember that.
You're like, The Dapper Caster. I was like,
I was probably drunk at that point, so I don't remember.
My bad. Buddy, it's good to see you.
Hey, buddy.
You look better than I thought you would after this weekend.
What happened? Oh, with what?
Well,
the party.
The party.
Yeah. I mean, we partied pretty hardy.
I have never driven a plane so messed up in my life.
You're not supposed to drink within like 24 hours of a flight, but I think we were driving, like we were drinking and driving.
We were drinking and flying. Okay, so here. Everybody's like, hey, you guys have been talking about the diaper party for months and months and months. When did, it finally happened.
Finally happened, yeah. Thank God.
We took the plane from FCF Network, our hangar.
HQ.
Put DSJ in the plane with us. We were like, oh, shit. He's like, don't worry, I'll walk you through it, from the back seat.
Yeah.
Got up in the air, went over to Folsom, California.
Yep.
And we picked up Richard, don't call him Dick, Big Dick T. Lori couldn't go because it was all gas.
Oh, it's a dude's night out? Sorry, ladies. Diaper parties for dudes only.
Conrad was with him because they live pretty close to each other. Conrad got on the plane with us, and
so happy to finally press the flesh with these fellas. By press the flesh, I mean putting our naked bodies next to each other.
Right. We would land. We landed in Folsom. They both got on the plane in Folsom International Airport.
Yep.
And we said, hey, take your clothes off. DSJ's one. This is the way he wants it. We all hugged. We hugged with our clothes off. It was fine. It was cool. I mean,
I don't care. I know who I am in my sexuality. I can get naked and hug anyone and not have an erection or have any sexual feelings.
Right. And so we were like, all right, DSJ, this is your night. You didn't have a bachelor party. This is your night.
You want all these guys here stripped down. Here we are.
They get on the plane, and each of them have about 13 boxes of diapers, like different sizes, like, 0 to 3, 3 to 6, and so I'm just pushing them in the back of the plane. And DSJ's like, let's go to Vegas. And I was like, I don't think we should go to Vegas.
When you have an airplane like we do, Air Force One, the world is your oyster. We can do anything, go anywhere. He said, go to Vegas.
I said, no, we're not going to Vegas because of...
Remember what happened last time we went there?
You got married and your wife is
Ended
dead.
up in a field in Wyoming somewhere?
Exactly. So he's like, all right, fine. Let's go to the big city. Let's go to the Mecca of all cities.
Yeah. Let's
go to New York.
Boom.
Went all the way across country.
Like, logistically, totally didn't make sense, but we did it anyway.
Oh, what are you going to tell him no? You can't tell him no.
You can't tell a man who has Down syndrome and is expecting a child no.
Right. So we went down there and we went to like the Gotham Comedy Club. We went to like some of the most famous strip clubs down there.
Scores. We went to Scores.
Scores. Yeah, exactly. And
we went to Times Square.
we Ubered the shit out of that place.
Yeah. We landed at LaGuardia. Got out. We hit all the spots. We went to Ellis Island, right?
Right. And he's like, let's go see a Mets game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is longer. This is longer than I expected to be
This
gone.
is a marathon diaper party.
Right. Went to the Mets game. They lost. Whatever. No big deal. Ellis Island, we went, and he shed a tear or two at Ellis Island. It's understandable.
Well, I think a lot of his relatives, his ancestors came through Ellis Island.
We partied hard.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, we're taking off from LaGuardia. We've got,
mind you, we're naked the entire time.
Naked the entire time. We got 4 strippers.
Yeah.
In Air Force One. They're watching YouTube videos of old Vine compilations.
Now that Vine is gone, you can only see compilations of Vine on YouTube.
Right, that's crazy.
It's like Inception, right? It's a layer within a layer.
And for some reason, they weren't naked, and that we were still naked. Once you got on the plane, you had to take your clothes off.
Like you should be naked too,
right?
Not the case. And we're so willing to do all these things because he got married kind of on a drunken bender situation, and he never had a bachelor party. So this I feel like this doubles as his bachelor party.
Sure, it's like it's a twofer. Is what we like to call it in the game. In the game, we call it a twofer. And, God, it was so much fun. It took me, I spent the night, we finally landed back at FCF Airport. I passed out. I was on comfy-ass couches. We got leather plush couches we got back there.
Towards the towards the end of doing the stuff in the middle, like you were apt to do, you kind of were fading out there. I was like, I had to summon all my knowledge of stuff in the middle before I had to take it down.
Like I said, I think I blacked out. I don't really remember exactly what happened. I woke up laying next to a stripper.
Yeah, you did. That was awesome.
Right. I was like, "Where's everybody at?" I looked around. I was like, "Oh man."
And honestly, at that point, she was wearing more clothes than what she came on the plane.
Oh
with,
yeah, she had a parka on and she had snow pants. It was really weird. She was
wrapped in a muumuu or something. It's very bizarre.
But and then that morning, I finally said, "Hey, I called Stewart, Mr. Stewart, and Ubered her fucking somewhere." I was like, "Take her away from here.
Yeah, drop her off somewhere. Here's $100. Do whatever the hell you got to do."
Right, wherever $100 will take her and get you home. That's fine. So then it was my responsibility. I was like inventory of like when they have baby showers and stuff, there's somebody in charge of like writing down each person's gift.
Right. You got to do that.
Well, it was just like the 5 of us, but there is 37 boxes of diapers. There is one of those play sets. You lay them down on their back and they play. There's bottles. There's pacifiers. There's 37.
He's stacked. He's ready to go.
There's outfits and everything. And
He's ready to be a dad.
Where did it come from? Do you have any idea? Because I blacked out. Where did all these presents come from?
One word for you. Trump.
God damn, that guy's good.
Trump.
That fucker knows how to party.
President Barack Hussein Trump. He said, we had, as we all know, way back when he first was inaugurated, DSJ set up all those hoses and stuff to kind of spray the plane as it came through, kind of the show that was put on. And so this is kind of, I think, Trump's way of saying thank you. I know you're expecting a kid. And, of course, he invited Trump. And Trump had a soft yes, actually. It was very – I didn't expect that at all.
Right.
A soft yes. He was not able to make it.
Right.
I think he had a couple games of golf he had to attend to. But he did end up sending just a truckload of supplies for this young man, which was – he was so grateful.
And to me, I was like, these strippers even brought presents.
Yeah. The strippers had a little something. One gave me chlamydia.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I mean, I know I can get rid of it.
Well, why? Why would you do that? Why would
I want to remember sparkles for the rest of my life. So I'll probably hold on to chlamydia, actually. How about you? Did you get anything?
Oh, I got fucked up. I did. I got fucked up. Like you would be amazed at some of the stuff I found in Air Force One. I found like 3 lines of coke that hadn't been done yet, right?
Yeah,
on a Guns N' Roses like
Use Your
mirror
Illusion
thing.
Yeah.
There was these huge fucking dildos in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, what fuck happened?
Yeah.
You know
I don't
what
remember
mean?
most of it.
Jeez.
I barely remember taking it down.
So at this point, he's going to have a baby like in the next couple of weeks.
Yep. DSJ is ready to be a dad. He's got all the supplies he needs. He had that one big last blowout party to say au revoir to the single life, to the carefree life that he's been living, and hello responsibility. Let me get this all out of my system. And he's ready, though. He's stacked.
Yeah. He's got diapers to last him at least the first year and a half.
Diapers for days, as they have to say. So what a great party. I'm so excited it finally happened.
Let's high-five that shit.
High-five that party. Great job on setting up that party. You know what? I'm going to throw some frequent flyer points out there for him.
For Big T?
Yeah.
How many?
Like 8.
Sounds good, man. He worked hard.
He did work hard for those 8. No one has worked harder for less points. Speaking of earning frequent flyer points, I think we've got some fan feedback. And while you're queuing that up, I just want to say, anytime you contact Couch Pilots, whether it's through Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, whether you send us an email, whether you share a link, whether you download, it is all calculated.
You can tell a friend verbally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll know. Well, I mean, eventually we'll know. But it all goes through the giant, non-electrical, 7,000-pound machine called the Pachinko machine. There's 3 of them in the world. We've got one of them, thankfully. We've got James Cameron, famed filmmaker, and IBWIP's very own Big E, vying head for head. I really feel like that's going to come to a head soon. For that third one, it's in the bottom of the North Atlantic in the Titanic.
Big E was recently in Florida in negotiations.
I seriously think he's about to ready to wrap this up. Big
I hope
E,
so.
He doesn't have the resources like James Cameron does, but he's got the intelligence.
He's got a lot of resources, though.
Does he?
I mean, he's making all that fucking cash.
He's got all that Domino's money. I think he's got the Noid behind him.
Domino, motherfucker! That's what he says every time he delivers a pizza, just like Ice Cube. Domino, motherfucker!
But the Pachinko machine, it's a series of punch cards, gears, winding, whatever. It's non-electrical, but it keeps track of all of that. So if you listen to the show, if you're a participant in our program, then you're going to accumulate points for surprise prizes, right? Mm-hmm. You might get some signed aviator glasses. You might get to sit right here on the plane with us and take a flight.
You know what? It's been a while since we did that. It's been a while. Because nobody's racking up their points.
Well, I think a lot of people are hoarding their points, like saving them for like the next...
for the bell?
Right, for the bell. That's exactly right. Rock the bells.
Saved by the Bell.
Oh, that too. Great show. Anywho, yes, let's hear some of that fan feedback. Who do we got today?
Hello, this is Kevin Clark, host of Let's Try This. I was just wondering, I heard you guys got a frequent flyer program, and I just was wondering if I could get some frequent flyer points for my dog here. I got little Gus around. He's 9 weeks old, and my wife and I were wondering if we can bring Gus on the plane and if he can have frequent flyer points, if that applies to canines as well as humans. Love the show. Love you guys. And I look forward to hearing from you about this frequent flyer thing. I mean, guys, if there's one guy that needs frequent flyer points, it's Gus. Okay? So, yeah, like I said, love the show. Love you guys. We'll talk to you. Bye.
That's very interesting to me.
That's something we've never, ever, had to deal with.
But honestly, I do have an answer for it. First of all, Kevin Clark from the Let's Try This podcast, right here on our very own FCF network. Thank you so much, Kevin, for calling into the show. I will say that really the ball is in Gus's court at this point. Anyone can accumulate frequent flyer points. They just have to earn it. So if your dog is out there liking us on Facebook,
right? If your dog shares a link, if you can document that he has shared a link, then more power to him.
It's very difficult for humans to communicate with animals. So I think Gus is very lucky that he has a partner in Kevin Clark, his owner. Mm-hmm. So, Kevin, big ups to you for supporting your animal and trying to get some frequent flyer points. But I think you need to take it a step further and really assist this dog in helping to share the word.
And prove it. Because, I mean, we've never experienced having frequent flyer points with an animal.
Not yet, no.
I don't know how the Pachinko machine is going to be affected by that. Because
it's ones and zeros,
Right, but it's a dog.
That's exactly right.
And they don't have disposable thumbs.
They sure don't. That's really what separates us from the animals, isn't it?
We never ask of this from people, but if we could have some kind of proof, we would be happy to give them the points.
We'd be more than happy to give your dog who does not have disposable thumbs some frequent flyer points. All he's got to do is share the show. And we'll find a way. I think there might be a punch card that maybe Big E can get his hands on that we can use to incorporate animals.
Like a paw punch card.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. So, Kevin, you yourself, for calling in, you get frequent flyer points. The dog, we're just waiting for him to participate or engage the show in some way. But congratulations on your new animal.
This show is built on the back of its back.
Holy
burps.
Moly. Any more frequent or fan feedback today?
Yeah, we do have some fan feedback. I apologize. I've got so many things going on right now and so many people yelling at me all at one time.
In what form is this fan feedback? Is this another call or is this a Facebook or?
Facebook.
A Facebook. All right, what do you got?
This is Lori Garcia. We haven't talked about her in a while.
Love Lori
It's
Garcia.
been a minute. To the fan who had the theory of Big Dick T doing Patrick Batesman on me.
Patrick Bateman, of course, is the character that I can't remember that dude's name. Anyway, it's American Psycho.
Okay. How do you know what our Tuesday evenings entail? Still a better love story than Twilight. I feel like I had this one for too long. And
Maybe.
I don't remember what reference to.
I think Tyler called in with some fan fiction talking about like murder and taking the place
of
Lori Garcia.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yes, I think that's what he's referring to. It sounds to me that Lori Garcia is alive and well. Thank God. Because I don't want to go one step further if the first lady of Couch Pilots is not on board.
Right, exactly. I mean, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be where we are at today.
That's exactly right. So big ups to you, Lori Garcia. Hope everything's going
She's so
well.
pretty.
Is she pretty?
She's pretty. She's cute. She's cute little button nose, little glasses. She looks nerdy, but you can tell that she's...
Hold on. Calm down.
Oh,
you
what?
gotta calm down.
Oh,
Please.
okay.
Is she married or is it your boyfriend?
This is a boyfriend.
Okay, well, just relax. She's taken... You can't keep talking
I'm just
about
trying to
this.
compliment and see. I just want to know I like what she looks like.
Sometimes I think you really are straddling that line and making people uncomfortable.
Really?
I think so.
Well, fuck me then, right? Fuck me for making people feel uncomfortable.
Look. I
had a talk with
Here we go.
with Big Dick T the other night at the diaper party, and I'm like, hey, if I want to hit that with your wife or your girlfriend, how are you cool with that? And he said, yes, he's fine.
Okay. I'm sorry that I don't know that you have.
I don't do that shit without at least getting parental consent first. God damn, man.
I'm sorry.
Trying to cock block me.
I'm not trying to cock. That's enough of this shit. That's not working. You need to set that up again. What are we doing?
You're supposed to rep Digital Underground.
No, that's right.
The Humpty chance is your chance to the hump. Oh.
Tell me, baby! Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Strap in, boys and girls.
That's right. Sometimes when you get on a plane, you just have to watch television shows that had only one episode, and that's what you're hearing right now. Two grown-ass men unable to control their most primal urges to consume the worst TV has to offer. Right?
Yeah.
Validate me.
It's validating. I mean, we watch some stuff that, there's a reason why these are one hit wonders. They don't even...
Some of this shit would make your toes curl. Right?
I got athlete's foot because of some of these.
You got athlete's foot because of some of these pilots?
They're so bad. Yep.
Today we discuss the pilot episode of Super Nerds from the year of our Lord 2000. Great year.
It's even 2000.
2000
Party over, rich, out of time.
The show is built in the back.
R.I.P. Prince.
R.I.P. RINCE.
Don't do drugs.
That's right. That was a great year. 2000 was the year of innocence, right? We're wrapping up a time in this country where we were all just footloose and fancy free.
2K1. 2K, right? Is that what it was? 2K1?
The terrorist attack in 2011?
No. When all the computers wouldn't...
Y2K.
Y2K.
They said, you know what? 1999, great year. December 31st, midnight rolls around, bada bing, bada boom, the computers are going to take human form and kill everyone with laser beams. Didn't end up happening, thank God.
Thank goodness.
I don't want to be killed with a laser beam. How do you want to die? Shark attack?
No, I want to die because I want a turtle to step on my heart.
A turtle to step on your heart? You say these things, and you look away, and you give me a stone face like you never said to begin with.
That's what the best comics do, right? They don't laugh at their own punchlines. That's why I don't like. Sometimes Dave Chappelle gets on my nerves because he laughs at his own jokes. Me, I throw them out there.
Yeah,
and I'm also spoiled because being with you in a relationship for as long as we have, there's a lot of times where I'm like, I'm going to throw this out there, and then I expect you to either make it funny or not make it funny.
Okay, really putting the burden on me. And giving the listeners kind of an inside look to our relationship, perhaps.
Well,
All right.
We are what we are. All we are is all we are. All we are
Show spelling back of the songs.
all we are. Thank you.
All right, let's go back in time. I always say, anytime in the 2000s, it's not that far away. Hey, it was 17 years ago.
17 years ago.
Jesus Christ, 17 years ago?
God.
Good God. I graduated in the year of our Lord 2000. 17 years ago. I'm coming up on a 20-year reunion I won't attend.
Are you going to go to it?
No, I didn't go to my 10.
That's why you said you're not going to attend.
Correct. I cannot believe it'll be 20 years very soon that I've been out of school. And I want to go back in time.
How old were you in 2000?
I turned 19.
So I was 25.
That's right. I feel like I can remember that time, though. I can remember.
It wasn't so far back that we don't remember, but it's hard to grab it like a rope and bring it back in a little bit.
So I think, kind of mentioning some things that happened in that year to put us in that mindset will help, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates, leaves his position as CEO. Microsoft, to me, is synonymous with the name Bill Gates.
Oh, yeah. When I think of Bill Gates, I think of Microsoft. When I think of Microsoft, I think of Bill Gates.
That's exactly right. Richest man in the world.
Oh, jeez.
He said, let's revolutionize the way we do absolutely everything with this software known as Windows.
Windows Vista.
Right? The one that changed it all.
Nothing was the same. We probably couldn't podcast if it wasn't for Windows Vista.
I use Excel every day. I love Microsoft Excel. Bill Gates, baby.
And you think about it, you're like, it's been so long since we used Excel. You don't think about it. You're like, this just has been here forever.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
It's always been a part of our lives. Absolutely not the case. Bill Gates created it, and now we're enjoying the fruits of his labor, making him one of the wealthiest men in the world.
I wish I had a third.
You ever see that thing where
of that money?
A third of the money.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You ever see that video where, like Bill Gates is saying, "I have $100 trillion. I'm going to give away most of it. I'm going to go towards worthy causes, helping people around the world." Like him and Melinda, incredible work.
Melinda,
Bill and Melinda Gates.
Oh, that's his wife.
That's his wife.
His wife.
He made a machine that could take human shit and make it into drinkable water, and he drank it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. It is interesting to me. What a great guy. Taking all this money. He's like, I can't live any better than I'm living.
Right. There's no possible way for me to spend all this.
Let's do something
on
good.
my own. Right.
I fuck
in a bed of money.
That's right.
In a bed of $100 bills.
I've gold plated my penis. Right.
He's kind of nerdy. Is Melinda hot?
Probably. I don't know what she looks like. But I think he's a pretty good dude with all he's doing with his money.
Yeah, amen to that. High five. Let's high five Bill Gates.
High five him. Nice. 300 gallons of black sludge is released into the Mississippi River, causing an environmental disaster. What is black sludge? Is that human shit?
I'm not a scientist.
No. You think only scientists have the answer to that?
Yes.
Mississippi River, largest river in these United States.
The Mississippi River,
the mighty Mississippi,
is known for Huck Finn.
Yep.
Slave trading.
Oh, yeah.
And Tyler,
because he lives in Mississippi.
Yeah, MISSISSIPPI.
That's right. Very, very good. I can't imagine what do you think black sludge is? Just like industrial waste? Or I'm thinking it's human shit.
Or silt. Could it be silt?
Isn't silt good, though? Don't you want, like, rich black silt on your farmland so you can get good crops?
I don't know. You went way over my head.
Silt good. Sludge bad. Shit bad.
All right, I'm with you now.
All right. Tiger Woods becomes the youngest player to win a Grand Slam in golf.
Yeah.
I thought Grand Slams were only...
in baseball?
In Denny's as well.
Oh, hey, that was a good one. No, there was a point that Tiger Woods was unstoppable, winning all the majors in 1 year.
Are you kidding me? I think he had like a 15... maybe not 15, maybe like 12 year where he's just like, this is the guy. This is your Michael Jordan of golf.
And then the porn and the strippers and the prostitutes caught up with him.
I think Tiger Woods hit the Bill Gates line, right? Where he's like, I have so much money.
Right. What do I do with this?
Yeah, I'm just going to start...
My dad's dead.
Yeah.
He's not taking the money anymore. What do I do? I am bored. Golf is easy. Life is easy.
I've got hundreds of $1 million. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to start doing crazy shit.
Just start fucking everything that moves. Who could... I mean, honestly, in a position like that, who could blame him? Eventually, you've done everything. You've done every one, right? What else is there to do?
Start a podcast.
I would listen to the Tiger Woods podcast in a New York minute.
Podcast. Hardcore podcast. Barf. This show is built in the back of his back burps. Thank you.
Oh, mercy. So we already said I was 19, you were 25.
Yep.
Why would we choose to watch this?
3 simple criteria. A, it was one episode was made. It never
One and done.
It never went to series. Whether it was aired or not is irrelevant. 2, we had to find it on the interwebs. Sometimes that's difficult. 3, it had to be free. We're not paying for it, even if we find it on the internet and it's like, oh, only $2.99. We won't. There's been pilots where it was $2.99 on YouTube. You know, the YouTube Red. It was
our mouth was watering. Our eyes were glazed over. We're so excited. We saw the $2.99.
I was like, it's $1.50 a piece, Jason. Let's do it. And you're like, fuck that.
We had to turn our backs on it.
We got to stick to 3 criteria.
We are nothing without these 3 pillars, these 3 principles.
Otherwise, we'd be watching all kinds of shows.
I don't want to watch all kinds of shows. There's only one kind of show I want to watch, and that's one that meets these 3 criteria.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh shit! that was actually on accident.
Where can you watch Super Nerds? You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube. You know what to do, Tube.
Is this on YouTube?
It is. I just like saying that.
Oh.
I know it's on Side Splitter as well.
But it is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not inaccurate.
I would go to the YouTube as opposed to the Side Splitters, wouldn't you?
I probably would. And I really, just very quickly, we don't do it every episode, but I want to quickly touch on our blue links. So many things out there today are vying for your attention. Some of them are poison. Some of them are snakes in the grass.
Poison.
She's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to find.
Bobby Brown.
What's that now?
Was not in that band.
Belle Biv DeVoe featuring Bobby Brown.
Whenever I think of Belle Biv DeVoe, I think I just have to say Bobby Brown, because if it wasn't for Bobby Brown, that wouldn't be a new edition, and there wouldn't be a Belle Biv DeVoe.
That's exactly right. Everything you just said is exactly right. But our links are classically blue for a reason. I think if you copy and paste a link here or there or anywhere, they could be a variety of colors, but we galvanize our links to become classically blue so they are safe for you to click through.
We've spent about $37 on the color of classically blue.
Yep. We honestly
trademark.
We own the rights to classically blue.
A hashtag classically blue.
Yeah.
Hashtag trademark.
You and I have both worked for Caterpillar tractor company.
Right.
And they have trademarked their specific color of yellow for their tractor. Very similar to us trademarking the classically blue color.
You do what you got to do as a corporation.
That's right. So let's go ahead and take off.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Big shout out to Biggie, DSJ.
Well, he is stumbling around out there. That is not the DSJ I'm used to seeing.
Right.
That dude is hung ass over.
I want to give a big Shout out to Dee Dee too from Australia.
Yeah, just on the randoms there.
On the regs.
She's great, isn't she? I'm so excited. I was telling my daughter, no joke, I was telling my daughter today, I was like, we have listeners in Australia. And she's like, so fucking what? I was like, no, this is really cool. There's people on different continents who like listen to our podcast. She's like, I don't give a fucking shit.
Right.
Fuck you, Dad.
Like, fucking millennials.
Summary of the pilot. Centers around a geeky comic book fan who manages his own comic book store with his best friend who hangs around the place all day.
Right. All day, day.
That summary, my friend, is a great summary.
That summary is what I like to call a high and tight.
Right.
It's a high-level summary, and it's tight. It's a couple sentences.
Sometimes you get a summary, and it's like 2 or 3 sentences. It's like, okay, get to the point. And sometimes you got one that just in one sentence encapsulates the entire program you just saw, and that's what you want.
I think this is one you could put on a plaque.
Without a doubt. This summary essentially is the summary in which all other summaries should aspire to.
Oh, it's summarizing like there's never been summaries before.
A nice segue into interesting facts. A part of the show where we give you a little behind-the-scenes look, things you didn't know that happened, things you didn't understand or will ever necessarily hear, unless you talk to us, baby. You got to talk to us.
Conrad rule.
Conrad rule on the fact place.
Hello, there's a Conrad rule right around the corner.
One of our most faithful listeners, Conrad from California, has violated the rule so often that we've named it after him. It's the rule where I'm going to tell you facts, you're going to hear them, and you're going to zip-a-da-lippa. You're not going to talk about them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't say anything about these facts. Don't taint someone else's experience when they hear this, because you saying, oh, that was good or that was shitty, that's going to taint someone else's experience. They'll be like, I agree with them all of a sudden. Well, be your own person, okay? Take them as they lie, because you can't change these facts.
Right. When was the last time you saw a taint? A close-up.
Ooh. Saturday night.
Nice. High-five that shit.
Patton Oswalt and Brian Posehn spent 4
How close were you to it? Like you just saw like from a distance?
Like my tongue was on it.
Nice.
High five that again. Patton Oswalt and Brian Posehn spent 4 days writing the script for Comedy Central after a trip to Portland, Oregon.
4 days, it's obvious.
What's that now?
Nothing.
Okay. I thought...
No, I went...
Okay, I thought in some way that you were... like commenting on the facts, which I know that you know is a wild violation.
You know what to do to him. No, I was just clearing my.
Okay, cool. Hey, you know what? No problem then.
Thank you.
We don't have a problem as long as that is exactly what happened.
Rewind the tape.
All right, good. Patton was quoted as saying, Comedy Central would shoot and then bury it in a salt mine somewhere in Colorado. Oh, well.
Okay.
I think kind of dismissing the fact that it was discarded. And you know what? I'm sorry to say, interesting facts over.
Oh.
Two little tidbits about this. There was
more for 1958's The Adventures of Super Pup.
There's nothing out there about this. I contacted these folks via Twitter. Nothing. 4 days isn't a lot of time, but if they saw a budding talent in character actors, Patton Oswalt and Brian Posehn, who are also, very good stand-ups in their own right, but, Brian Posehn came up kind of doing comedy, and then he was also on Just Shoot Me with David Spade, right? Yeah. And then Patton Oswalt had a nice reoccurring role in The King of Queens.
Sure.
They said, yeah, let's let these guys come up with something for Comedy Central.
Did you tweet Sarah Silverman?
I did.
And none of them got back to you.
Right. So you would think that even though they only spent 4 days writing this thing, this was kind of their baby.
Right.
You would think they'd say, hey, thanks
it's
a
lot. It's a novelty thing. Hey, I'm an artist. Blake and Jason are artists. Let's art together.
That's right.
Nope.
Maybe not.
Nada.
That's fine. That's okay.
You're welcome.
But because I have no other interesting facts out there. There's nothing else out. I scoured. There's nothing. I don't understand. I don't know if a lot of people have seen this thing, but I was really hoping for some more information.
It's okay. It's not
surrounding
your fault, man.
super knowledge. I beat myself up on it, but at the end of the day, I know you're right.
I appreciate all that you do, whether it's viable or not.
And I appreciate the IBWIP podcast.
For over 8 years, Blake Clayton, the podcasting god, has brought you the best in roots music, adult comedy, and real talk with his ever-revolving cast of co-hosts in the form of It Burns When I Pee. Join one of the true podcast originators along with intern Heather and the Bottle Cap Kid as they play games, interview interesting characters, and just maybe uncover the meaning of life. New episodes of IBWIP can be found every Friday on the Fakakta Comedy Network. Check us out at fcfnetwork.com and join in on the fun.
IBWIP coming to an end soon, to be rebirthed as Broken Funny Bone. In that promo that I cut a while back ago, I said, and we may just may uncover the meaning of life. Blake, 10 years of IBWIP, a variety of co-hosts, a variety of format changes.
Variety of wives.
A variety of wives. What have you determined what the meaning of life is because of that podcast?
Yes. Basically, if I didn't have IBWIP, I wouldn't have any friends. The IBWIP is the link that holds all my friends together.
Okay.
So,
and I think you're being genuine when you say that.
no, I'm absolutely genuine. I know that the people that have been on IBWIP would not hang out with me on a regular basis without a podcast. And I'm fine with that.
I think that may be like a sour way to look at it, maybe a little bit. I always, when people ask me about it, I always say, podcasting has kind of opened me up to a massively new social circle.
Yeah.
I have friends that I love
in low places,
in low places, for about 20 years. And then I have my podcasting buddies, and it's doubled my social circle.
Over the 10 years, I've met and talked to and had relationships with so many people. Like, when I, BJ and Coley, I would have never have talked to them, never have met them.
All these bands that would spend the night at your house and hang out with you to the wee hours of the morning.
With my wife.
Yeah, that's right.
No, seriously, it's overwhelming.
Yes,
I don't want to get teary-eyed yet. I want to wait till 300 to fake it.
It'll happen. Let's break down the pilot here.
Break it down for my son.
It opens with Brian Posehn reading. It's kind of like it's a big scroll that they're undoing Star Wars style. You know, at the beginning of Star Wars, they have the scrolling letters that kind of bring you up to speed with what's happening at that moment.
Right. This is just a poster rolled up, and is it Patton's? Isn't Patton's not reading it?
I thought it was Brian Posehn. It might have been Patton. But yes, it's episode 1.
I was so uninterested in this that anyway.
Episode 1, The Dungeon Planet, which happens to be the name of the store that they work out. And it's
comic book store.
It's worth mentioning, too, that this is a half-hour pilot. So it's about 22 minutes.
Sure.
This is a half-hour comedy pilot for Comedy Central. They roll it out, like I said, like a Star Wars exposition. And there's a live audience clapping, which honestly, you know that I hate it. I could have definitely done with that. I don't think the show needed that.
No, it didn't need it at all. And actually,
suffered because of it.
Yeah. Brian Posehn's character's name is Gail.
Yep.
And Patton's name is Leslie. So we'll go ahead and just stick with those names through the rest of it, not to confuse people.
We'll also note that they are lady names for fellas.
Exactly. Leslie is Patton Oswalt, and he works at the comic book store.
He pretty much runs it. I don't know.
He manages it.
It's said later that he doesn't own it, but he does. He runs the store. So Gail is inside. Brian Posehn. Gail is inside the comic book store. He's slurping loudly on like a big gulp, like one of those big styrofoam cups.
When I watched this, I thought to myself, if I was to do this around Jason, he would Patton Oswalt this shit. It would drive him insane.
Yeah, I'd probably kung fu you right in the back of the neck.
True or false? Character or not character, it would drive you crazy.
I don't stand for that shit for one New York minute. You're welcome. This is the last episode we're going to do that, by the way, where we say thank you and then tap the mic. That's just tonight.
Because at this point, we'll forget about it 2 Mondays from now. But right now, under
it's totally relevant
inebriation, this is what we're doing. Thank you.
You're welcome. So polite. Leslie and Gail are unequivocally, without a doubt, super fucking nerds.
Super nerds. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say, throughout this pilot, there's a lot of like nerd references, comic book, Dungeons and Dragons references that if you're not a nerd, you won't be able to catch up.
This is 2000, okay?
In the year 2000.
At the year 2000. Nerd culture has not taken a hold like it is now.
There's no Chris Hardwick to ruin it all.
I really feel like Chris Hardwick did help kind of usher and push that through with his network known as the Nerdist.
Nerdist, if you want to contact Couch Pilots, we'd be happy to leave FCF Network for the right price.
Do not hold your breath. But yes, nerd culture in the past, I'd say 10 years, is really like, oh, you want to be a nerd about something? That's totally cool, man.
That's so cool being a nerd.
2000, not necessarily the case.
No.
And that may tie into some turbulence later. But yes, they're hanging out in this comic book store all day. They totally look like
they're
nerds.
just ripping on each other. Like the beginning of this, they're just kind of riffing on each other.
And they're talking about like a comic book convention or some kind of nerd convention coming up, and the costume competition, and they keep kind of joking about all the different people that are going to show up dressed as characters, and they're all like fat versions.
It's like a flashback, and it just shows fat versions of like
Boba Fett, I think they say.
Yeah, and like Princess Fatty or something.
Princess Leia, but Princess Leia Fat. Like they got really lazy with the puns.
Right.
I was like, in 4 days to write this thing, I could have come up with some better puns than that shit. But they're making fun of all the fat cosplayers, and then the intro of the show comes on, and to me, it sounds like I can hear elements of the Mr. Show beginning. I don't know if you heard that kind of that weird.
Sure, I got you. Just like what was that? We talked about it one time.
Kind of like a Moog or like a synthesizer Moog player. There are elements of the Mr. Show theme there because both those guys were involved with Mr. Show in the 90s with Bob and Dave, and then there's like a heavy metal aspect too. So it's kind of a Mr. Show heavy metal version of the intro,
and it's a really fast. It's really fast, like
a scrolling through like images of the comic book
going
shop.
going from the parking lot into it, and there's actually laughs and claps like within the intro.
And honestly, too, that reminds me of Mr. Show as well, because Mr. Show had the same thing. Mm-hmm. Mr. Show appeared to be in front of a live studio audience. It's kind of like the Dave Chappelle show where Dave would come out and introduce bits, and you have a live audience, and you have a DJ up there, but all the bits were pre-taped. That was a lot of like Mr. Show was. Mm-hmm. And to me, there was a lot of parallels here with, here's the intro. Oh, it's people are loving, they're clapping, but the show itself probably wasn't taped in front of a live audience. So then you got an Eastern European mini mall owner shows up because this.
I said Russian.
Well, it's same
difference.
Eastern European, yeah.
Okay.
It's their comic book shop. The Dungeon Planet is inside a mini mall.
Strip mall.
Strip mall, yeah. And he shows up. The guy, he's Russian or Eastern European,
like an Adidas, like
stereotypical like running suit or whatever, right? He shows up to take a big dump.
Hello, buddy. I wrote that down. Hello, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Then a sexy broad comes through. She's and I don't know. I was thinking about you immediately. Buxom blonde bump.
No bump here, but she was very pretty, and I've seen her on other things, and I was too lazy to investigate where I've seen her from.
The visual quality to me was questionable, so I did not look into that, and I didn't recognize her. But she was like in there looking for Pokemon. She talks to Leslie, played by Patton Oswalt, and he like completely freezes up due to fear.
She's like, you got those Pokemon, you got those Pokemans,
Pokemon. Patton Oswalt freezes up around pretty ladies, and this is the first of several times that happens. He then yells at her for trying to open a toy, like the mystery machine from Scooby-Doo. She's like, "Oh, I remember this. This is from Scooby-Doo."
Right, he's like, "Please keep that sealed."
Yeah.
Gail is trying to nervously talk to her.
He hovers over her very creepily.
Sure.
And then
we've all been there, right?
Oh, absolutely. Then he flashes back to him and Leslie bonding over comic books while being beaten up. And then the woman hightails it the hell out of her.
It was classic. Hey, in grade school, people used to pick on us and beat us up because we were nerds. Now, girls fuck us because we're nerds. Basically, is what it's all about.
The woman
leaves,
out. and then, but they're like, I can't believe like a sexy woman came into the store. It's unbelievable.
That's the comic book store.
Boom, bada bing, bada boom. Sarah Silverman shows up. Her name is Gwen. We find out, and they're like, I don't know what's happening today, but there's two beautiful women that have popped in this store.
And this is, like I said, 17 years ago, this is Sarah Silverman, looking good. The old lady Jew has not come out in her yet. She's perky breasts, nice face, very fuckable.
When I think about Sarah Silverman, the first thing I think is, Saturday Night Live. She popped up on Saturday Night Live here and there on a Weekend Update for a little bit. She was around for like a season, maybe, as kind of a writer and like a featured player. Gone. A couple years later, she shows up as like a friend of Cameron Diaz on There's Something About Mary. Oh, very attractive. This is a few years after that. Mm-hmm. That was like 98, and then here we are in 2000.
She's still holding tight.
There's a beautiful young Jewy lady. God damn, she is sexy in this. And the boys love it, and they can't talk to her then. Commercial break.
Oh, yeah. And that was kind of cool. It's just real quick, like, just, like those.
Yeah, it shows up Super Nerds,
right.
And it's a commercial break. They come out of that, and the owner's back, and he's like, he comes out of the bathroom. He's been reading comics in the bathroom. And he says he cannot make heads or tails of the comics. And this guy is played by John Ennis. Do you know John? He was one of the members of Mr. Show as well. He was a frequent performer for Mr. Show. So a lot of these people are working together again, regurgitating. And then he says he was bitten by a radioactive business bug because he's so good at business.
Right. And then doesn't he call them gay? He's like, you're gay.
Well, he says that his brother is named Urigay.
Oh, that's right.
They make him say, "What's your brother's name?" He says Urigay. Yeah. He says, "No, Urigay." 4 days to write that shit.
All right. And Sarah Silverman comes up in and she gets some comics. She brings them up to the counter, and one of them is Dark Bitch, Dark Bitch comic. And Gail had said earlier he was reading at the beginning. He was reading a comic book and Leslie was like, "That's shit. That's a shitty comic book." He's like, "Well, I've got a 4 comic book rule.
I'll give it to the 4th issue, and if it really sucks, then I'll cut ties."
And then so they make a comment about Dark Bitch, and Sarah Silverman says, "Well, I've got a 4 issue rule."
And you can't see them, but those guys have instant, huge, mega milk boners after that because a woman not only that looks like that is reading comics. And then has a similar rule to one of those guys. Those guys are ripping through their jeans.
And for some reason, Sarah Silverman knows Gwen. I'm sorry. I apologize. Gwen knows their names.
Yeah, she says them out loud. The boys are kind of like,
what the fuck?
How do you know us? Like, we went to junior high together. Remember I tried to join that nerd club, whatever you guys had, and no one accepted me. But Leslie, you vouched for me. But it was no good. I didn't make it into the club. And they're like, "Yes, I do remember you." He said, "I would have definitely let you into the club if I knew you were going to look like this."
Right. And then there was there like internal dialogue between the two of them, like how they wanted to speak to her.
Perhaps maybe I missed that. I know that she said that she had just moved back to the area, and again, Leslie, second beautiful woman in just a few minutes, is paralyzed by fear, and he cannot speak. He is so enamored with this woman.
Were you like that as a teenager as well? Like when a pretty lady would talk to you, and you just kind of couldn't get the right words out?
No.
Really? You've been smooth the whole life.
I definitely didn't say that. Oh. I think I just was so disconnected from the fact that any lady would be interested in me that I would just like I could talk to people, but I didn't like pick up.
You're a catch.
I definitely am not.
Oh.
But no, I never really
until they find out about you.
Yeah, there you go. I never really had problems speaking to ladies, but at the same time, I didn't make it a priority.
Sure.
But knowing that you are the Wilt Chamberlain of podcasters, where you've slept with many, many women, I would assume that you have never ever had a problem talking to ladies. Is that fair to say?
Well, I've had the ones that are attractive and worth keeping around. I probably had a little trouble with at times, but no, in my day, I was very. Let's just say, good with the ladies.
I'll let you say that.
Good with the ladies.
The next scene, here there is some internal monologue here.
Maybe that's where I was.
Gail's looking at Leslie. He's like, he's thinking about getting with Gwen, that rat bastard. It's obvious he kind of likes her, but really he's thinking about like some codes or something for the Resident Evil video game. Then a dude comes in with some Star Trek busts. It's like Jean-Luc Picard and Kirk.
Right.
And both Leslie and Gail want them, and they begin to bid on them.
Yeah, the auction starts like they think they're voting for the pair for like $85 or $90.
Yeah, it's about ready to start, then they do a commercial break. They come back, and yes, the bidding begins. Right? He was talking to him on the phone earlier. He says, "Yes, I want them both," but then he's like, "No, I feel like you guys both want them bad enough. I get some more money if I sell them separately."
And there's a lot of nerd references in this little segment here with this auction guy. But the auction starts. They're going back and forth, making a bunch of like nerd reference insults to each other.
Yeah.
And then the owner comes in, and he gets like the owner, the Russian guy, the "Hello, buddy."
Yeah. At this point, Leslie had already won Captain Kirk, and now they were bidding on Jean-Luc Picard.
Jean-Luc Picard.
And being so business-minded as that Russian fella is, he comes in, he's like, I don't know what's happening over here. You guys are bidding on money. I have more money than either of you. I'm going to throw my hat into the ring.
So it ends up going for $165 to the store owner.
And he said, some things are worth more than money. He's like, nothing's worth more than money. And then does he say heroin is worth more than money?
Right. And so then there's a conversation between Leslie and Gail is holding on to this
loss of this bust, right?
Right. And he's moving around with his hand, and it's like, I'm like, as soon as I was watching, I was like, he's going to drop that.
He's kind of being pissed about, like, why is no girl like me? You look like a fucking troll. That's why, man.
You still do.
And and then he accidentally shatters Jean-Luc Picard bust that the owner had just purchased, and he's like, I want you to sell it here at the store for this amount of money.
Yeah, $400.
And he shatters it.
Shatter.
The next scene, the shattered remnants of Jean-Luc Picard remains, and it's on purpose. They reference it as like, hey, if this was a sitcom, we would have spent it all last night trying to glue it back together.
Right. It seemed like they just left it there for 2 days.
Yeah.
Gwen comes back in.
She does. Oh my God! And she talks about the convention, and she says to Leslie, "Hey, why don't the two of us go together?" And right here, I check out. I say, no way, shape, or form is this sexy lady, and she is beautiful. Let's not beat around the bush.
No,
honestly, even today, I think Sarah Silverman is a very beautiful woman.
Sure,
but this is her at her absolute prime,
perkiest boobs as she's gonna have.
And then she's interested in fat, slubby, comic book nerd ass Leslie. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I'm checked out here, but she's basically begging him practically to go dressed up as like a partner to whatever she's going to dress up as to this costume
cosplay stuff,
right?
Thing.
And every step of the way, big, tall, weird, troll-looking Gail has a problem with her suggestions.
Right. He's in. Why does Leslie leave? He leaves the scene.
I don't know,
yeah.
but Gail screams at her basically, and then Gwen leaves. Right.
Yeah, he's like, she's not into. There was a big, lengthy conversation, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, you're right. I was ahead of myself.
Leslie then kind of berates Gail for what he's done there,
and they have a falling out.
A little bit, yeah.
Now, Jason, what do you envision would be the one thing that would cause us to have a falling out?
Oh boy, maybe like
popsicles.
Popsicles, like a bomb pop.
Oh, I had a bomb pop this weekend.
Fuck you! You had a bomb pop, motherfucker.
I got a picture of it.
I don't. You want to cross the line with me? You have a fucking bomb pop without me. All right. You want to talk about the one thing that's going to get between us? It's goddamn dessert.
The ice cream man came to the house. He pulled.
You don't think I like ice cream? You don't think I want a bomb pop?
You weren't here, man.
The little thing called the telephone.
Get your shit together.
Ring, ring.
Oh,
Jason, come over and get yourself a bomb pop.
He's right down the street.
Fuck you, man.
You're never on time.
I am always late.
Always late. With her kisses. I love you. I love you.
And you. Commercial break. Coming back from the commercial, the owner is upset about the shattered bust.
Oh, yeah, he's pissed because he was going to sell it for $400. She bought it for $165. He was the profit. Hey, buddy.
Gail says, I'll write you a check for the amount. I'm sorry. It's like, you know what? The profit's blown. You give me $50, and then you just never come back in the store. It is worth it for me to never see your stupid fucking troll face in here again.
And to me, that was the best response. Like, that was the best part of this whole show.
Pretty badass. John Ennis kicking some ass. Leslie, the owner takes off, and then Leslie goes... What's it say? Close up? What does that mean? Tell me what happens next. My notes are weird.
But Gwen comes in again and has a conversation with Gail about why Leslie, doesn't like her.
This is where you're ahead of yourself. This is where you're wondering where Leslie went to. Okay, I recognize what my notes say now. Leslie says, "I'm going to go close up." So he leaves to go close up the back of the shop or something. You're welcome. She starts asking about Leslie. It's very obvious that she likes him for some wild reason.
And she's not facing Gail, she's just talking to him and he's behind her, And he's behind the counter, and he was told only employees behind the counter earlier.
She's like, I kind of like him. I think I was being pretty forward earlier. I don't know if he's got a girlfriend or if he's not interested. And Gail, that fucking prick, he's like, yeah, he wouldn't be interested in you.
Right, yeah. He's like, basically just disses her and in regards to Leslie, when in actuality it's because he likes her. And to me, it's like, you're selling out your bro.
This is your best bud, and you're gonna fuck him?
Bros before hoes. We have
unequivocally.
Jason, since the first time we met each other, and you had your feet up on the desk over there at Caterpillar.
Yep.
I said, hey, first question I asked.
And I said,
you,
hey, what?
Yeah, and I said, first question for you, if we're gonna be friends, bros before hoes? ? And you said,
absolutely. And then we shuck on it.
We shuck a dive.
But yeah, he was being a real prick here.
Yeah, it was kind of a dick.
Really like giving it to.
It was almost uncharacteristic of the character that I had met. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, it was very bizarre. He's a fucking prick. Gail says that he likes Gwen, and that Leslie would not be into her at all, which is not the case. And this is something
cock blocking her.
I genuinely had the word super cock block in here. High five that shit.
Super cock block.
And then it kind of scrolls over to Gail only. And he's having like a fantasy or some kind of weird imagination where he's a dude on a planet.
It was like a 70s Star Trek kind of thing.
A sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Sarah Silverman right here looks hot.
Are you gonna give her the Jew bump?
You know what? I will. I'll give her a Jew bump.
Nice. She was looking good. God damn it. But she's playing an alien, and it's kind of a scenario where the love triangle that is being set up in real life is being duplicated in this fantasy. To what end? I don't know. Right. It doesn't make any sense. I feel like it's a 90-second filler that was just fucking shit. Right. Anyway, talking about the relationships, the owner comes in and yells at Gail for still being there, and then that's the end. There's no hey, we went to the convention or anything. Right. It was just like, that's...
Yeah, it was just like,
it.
It's the middle of a story. Cut it off.
That's it. The 22 minutes is up.
What's turbulence of this shit?
Oh, my God. Aren't you kidding?
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
One episode, one done. So little information about this thing. I don't even know if it ever even aired. You have great talents that were budding. These aren't people who are unknown. These are people who are known in certain circuits. You got Sarah Silverman, right? You got John Ennis. You got Patton Oswalt. You got Brian Posehn. Those 4 people on a show today could really do some Van damage.
Definitely. I like that Van damage. That's good.
Did not work in the year of our Lord 2000. Ed nothing. What? Why not? Why didn't this work?
I'll tell you a couple reasons why.
Please.
They were ahead of the nerd game. Okay,
yep.
This is about 4 or 5 years before the nerd game.
Yeah.
Before it got hot. 2, to be honest with you, these guys are great, but if they're admitting that they spent 4 days on it, it was a sloppy put together. Like, they shoved as many nerd culture reference jokes. It was overly done. Yeah. And even I think it was at the end when they were showing the credits, they had this song that was just all kind of like comic book character names. It wasn't actually a song. To me, I hate to say this, but it is very half-ass written. I really think, like, if me and you had 4 days together, we could have written a better pilot.
Maybe so. Yeah.
We wouldn't have the star power, but we could have written it.
To me, this is updated. This is new Clerks.
Exactly. But before 4 days in advance that you have a meeting with Comedy Central.
I would hope so. Yeah.
If you have a meeting with an idea, you still have more than 4 days to put that script together.
There's nothing wrong with this idea. I don't think there are very many shows that are centered around a couple of comic book guys. I think there were too few characters. I think you're right when you say it's ahead of the nerd game.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, okay, like, let's say Big Bang Theory, okay? It's supposed to be nerd eccentric, right?
Right.
But the jokes aren't over the heads of a normal person.
Right.
They can still watch it and get, okay, these guys are nerds. There's going to make 5 references a show that I don't want to understand, but the rest of it I'll understand. This was like, I'm going to make 150 nerd references in 21 minutes.
I think you can make that number of nerd references today, and if it was a little bit better written, you would get away with it. Media is so fractured today, the right audience would find this. Yeah. But back then, that was not the case. Right. You didn't have streaming services. You didn't have near the number of cable channels.
No color television.
Right. There's no color television back then. No cellular type phones, nothing like that.
Right.
It's just, and honestly, you're right. The writing was poor. It wasn't that funny. I think it was a unique idea with talented people that just didn't have the right... It didn't have the right writing behind it.
Yeah. To me, that they are a lot better writers. They really are a lot better writers. What was the one that those two were in? They went to the party.
Oh, Next. There was a lot of the Mr. Show guys that Next. Yeah,
it just seemed half-assed.
Yeah, Next was not very good either, which is too bad. Because I wanted to like Next. It had a bunch of great people there, a lot of Mr. Show guys, and then you had like Fred Armisen right before he was on SNL. Great cast, great group of people that was just, I think it was milquetoast. It was watered down for network television. I think that was on Fox, I want to say. But I think this suffers in some ways because of that. You have elements of Mr. Show. It was going to be on Comedy Central, so it was pigeonholed by their standards. You can't curse on there. You can't have nudity. Not that that's necessarily made Mr. Show what it was, but it doesn't hurt. You have a lot of talent from Mr. Show. You have a lot of people that would eventually become much greater than the show represented, but just in a way that was like, yeah, we had 4 days to write this, and it kind of came through. Lazy writing, not very funny, maybe too intense references for the general public at a time where, like I said, media was not fractured to that point, and to where, the absolute right audience couldn't find this. But I do think at its center, there is a very good idea here with very capable people. It's just unfortunate that couldn't come to fruition. And with that, let's hear a few reviews.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
Jason?
Yeah.
When you get to be 42 years old,
yeah,
your bladder is basically shot.
You need a bucket under your table, and that's it.
2 weeks in a row, I've had to piss and basically just looked at you and gave you the sign of like, hey, fly this. And
I've been holding it since the commercial.
You're not supposed to fly. Have you really?
Yeah. IMDb score. Care to take a stab?
You just made me feel like a fucking asshole.
I was not trying to do that.
I know. You're fine.
IMDb score. Care to take a stab at it?
6.2.
7.0.
Ooh, I was close.
From 27 ratings. Not a lot.
Not a lot.
No critic reviews out there.
This wasn't aired. This couldn't have been aired.
I don't think it was. Only one viewer review. I really liked it. 6 out of 10 scars from Needled Don Cassetta. Needled once a day from the United States.
Real funny guy.
Way to go. It is a failed pilot to Comedy Central, which makes me mad because they have turned down so much good stuff like Gay Robot, etc. We watch that shit. Right. But this show was a little corny, but from that it was funny, and I hate corny family programming, but this isn't really like that. I wish they would have attempted to give it to other networks like G4, maybe even MTV2, but I don't know. Maybe this pilot will get picked up one day. It's only been 2 years since it was rejected. Pilots have been picked up much later. It's about these two guys who work at a comic book store. It's just the life they're working there. Brian Posehn and Patton Oswalt are two people who I think deserve something like this. They are both perfect at the role because they themselves were nerds when they were younger. There is still hope for super nerds. I will say two things. They are not when they were younger, but currently they are two massive nerds, and there is no hope for super nerds at this point.
No.
It's been many years since that aired, and I do appreciate the feedback because there's hardly any reviews out there. There's nothing about this show.
It's one of those ones where you really have to dig into the layers of skin just to find.
It's so weird
just to find a speck of blood
because of the star power. You would think there'd be more, but there's not.
Yeah, it couldn't have aired.
Couch Pilots really is any man's guess onto what you're going to find. You know,
I find that in our numbers. Yeah. There's episodes where like I'm like, oh, this isn't going to get very many numbers because it's not well known. It gets tons of them. I'm like, oh, this one has Sarah Silverman in it. It's going to get tons of them and nothing.
You have no idea what's going to hit and what's going to miss. We just have to have fun week after week.
It's like playing craps.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I'm willing to take that bet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Ratings. Landing the plane, the conclusion of a journey. Now we have to put a fine point on it.
My favorite part of the show.
This is your favorite part.
I'm going to go ahead and admit it. A few like a month ago, I couldn't tell you. Our ratings is my favorite part.
It really is the foundation, right? Mm-hmm. Without the ratings, this is all fruitless.
This is just dumb. This is just two guys getting drunk on a Monday night talking shit to each other.
I would like to say it's much more than that.
Oh, well. I mean, with the ratings, it is. This show is built in the back of his back.
Holy moly. Yes.
What's a moly?
A moly is like one of those. It's like a potato bug, but it's what they call it in the South.
Okay.
We have to regurgitate a number. It is many people's favorite part of the show. We give you so much information.
It ties everything together.
It does. You need to know what we think.
Don't walk around with your shoelaces untied.
There's nothing that I can add to that. That was perfectly said.
Thank you.
Based on
Almost forgot. It's already slipped my mind.
Based on the 90s television program, Wings, that's where the show, that's the core of this show. The intro, the outro, and even our rating scale.
The whole premise of the show was like, what was a television show that we loved? We both said
Wings.
Yeah,
we looked at each other. We said 3,
we said it at this
2, 1, Wings.
And then we just built from there.
That's exactly right. We said, who are the characters from Wings? There's 7 that we can think
Roy
of.
Biggins.
7 main characters. Roy Biggins being the worst you can get.
Shit show.
We took all 7 characters. We put them on a whiteboard, and we said, who do we like the most? Who do we like the least?
Oh, and there's a couple of them that we almost got into fisticuffs about.
Yeah. And we almost did. Thank God we didn't. Instead, it was on bomb pops that we
would have been. Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, nobody brought in one bomb pop for us to maneuver between.
Yeah, popsicles really is the divisive factor in our relationship. We said, who's the worst character? We said, it's Roy Biggins. And we said, who's the best character? And we decided it was going to be Brian Hackett. So based on that 1 to 7 scale, Captain Philip Restisher, I turn to you. How do you rate Super Nerds?
I have respect for Patton Oswalt and Posehn. I have respect for them. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason I'm giving them the score. 3.
Okay. A 3? Oh, man. I want to give it a 2.
I know you do. I
want to give it a 2. I don't know that I can, though. Yes, I can. It's a 2.
All right. This is a shit show.
It's not good. This was not good.
It was hurried.
It's not funny. I think there's a good premise. You have capable people here, but this is not good. I don't want to watch this again. I don't want to watch a season of this. This rightfully was thrown into the rubbish bin.
To me, it's like, okay, they got together and they had some weed,
yeah,
and they're like, we're gonna knock this out, and like they're writing it, and they're like looking, they're just laughing their asses off, and they finish it like, this is great, and then they sober up, and they're like, oh fuck,
this is not great at all.
We already emailed it to them.
Email. We sent it through our AOL account. That probably took me a day and a half to send that. I don't know. I'm at a loss. There's only one set here, which is not a killer for me. There can be great stuff that has only one set. It's just, I think you needed a few more characters, maybe some regulars that came in.
Maybe slow down the conversations. To me, the conversations were really fast between the two of them too. Maybe it's because I didn't get all the nerd references.
Maybe,
but it was, to me, it was like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I think they need to give these people more credit because they came off as childish and stupid. It should a little bit more intelligent conversation.
Sure.
Like that's where Clerks, the movie, not the TV series, the Clerks almost crossed that line where the conversation was too intelligent for a motherfucker that ran a video store and a gas station. But still, there can be a happy medium there where you have intelligent conversation. These guys were not having that at all. It was childish and stupid.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And with that, we close the book on Super Nerds, never to be mentioned again. Ever. But we're not done.
Never done.
There's so many more pilots out there that need our attention, and we're just the 2 schmucks that are going to give it to them. Join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Kung Fu, The Next Generation. And here's a little something to wet your whistle.
Kung Fu?
I know Kung Fu.
Everybody was Kung Fu fighting. This pilot was fast and light.
This show was built on the
Is this
back of
annoying
the
to you?
songs.
Does this annoy you in your ear?
I hate that. Would you stop it? I'm going to shove a goddamn popsicle in your throat.
Bomb pop?
Here's a little something to wet your whistle, folks. It's a modern-day descendant of Caine from the original Kung Fu. Hopes to turn his estranged son away from a life of crime. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to Daily Motion and check out all the commotion.
Daily Motion. You know what? You caught me off guard there. Say it one more time.
Or go to Daily Motion and check out all the commotion.
Nice. Go to the Daily Motion app. It's been a while.
Since
we did the Daily Motion thing, but the Daily Motion website slow and clunky, download the free Daily Motion app and watch on there.
When I think about the best friends that we have here on Couch Pilots, I think about Lori Garcia.
Nice.
I think about Tyler.
Nice.
Right? I think about Conrad. I think about
Nice.
Big Dick T.
Oh,
okay?
very nice.
Great. I think about Dee Dee in Australia. You know?
Big E.
I think about Big E. I think about The Voice. All these great people, contributors to this program. But when I think about a digital contributor, I'm thinking about YouTube. You know what to do, Tube?
Right.
I'm thinking about Daily Motion. Check out all the commotion. But you want to get the app version of both of those because those are going to be your best friends
We're
when you're looking
saving
at
your
these.
lives.
Without a doubt. Without a single doubt. Check us out. CouchPilotsPodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email there. Let us know what's going on with you. Let us know what your favorite apps are. Let us know what we should download. CouchPilotspodcast.com, the website that has done it all. The website that said, you know what? This is it. This is the pinnacle of this podcast.
It almost broke the internet when I registered it.
Absolutely.
I was surprised it was available.
Facebook, Couch Pilots Podcast. Twitter, Couch Pilots Pod. Instagram, Couch_Pilots_podcast. If you go to CouchPilotspodcast.com, all of that is laid out there for you.
Link.
Call us, 910-PILOTS-1. That's 910-745-6871. Any time of the day, we'll accept a phone call. Leave us a voicemail. We're going to talk about it on the show. You're going to get frequent points and a multiplier like you're playing a goddamn pinball machine. FCFnetwork.com. A family of shows unlike any other, all free, all fun, all reliable, all here to entertain.
Exactly.
Right?
There is not one show on FCF Network that I wouldn't recommend to my sick grandma.
That's right. Anything else you'd like to say to all of our frequent flyers today before we go?
No, I mean, I got this checklist of stuff I got to go through before DSJ gets aboard and
Sure.
goes through everything. Thank you to Big Dick T. Mad props to you.
Big ups.
Big ups to Big Dick.
Yeah.
For putting this on. You did a great job. Thank you to you.
Oh, come on. I can't do this without you, rest assured.
No, but I can't do it. That's where this hemisphere thing goes round and round.
That's right.
I can't do it without you. You can't do it without me.
That's right.
If one of us dies, this podcast is over.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you do all the work and I have the recording equipment.
But that really is what it comes down to. But if one of us did die, the other one would come on and cry, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that would be it.
Oh yeah. I think okay, let's do this real quick. We got a couple minutes. If I was to die, right? Mm-hmm. Who would you have as your co-pilot for the final episode to where you let everything out? Who did you trust to? Because you get it up.
You're right. And then you do all this stuff in the middle.
But I'm dead.
Right. So it'd just be an immediate up and down.
Okay, who would you have be there with you?
Who knows how to run this equipment? Is Dustin?
Oh, not this fancy thing. He don't.
Anyone?
Nope.
What about Andy from Section 86?
I don't think he even knows how to use this thing.
Well, fuck me then.
I'll leave you some notes.
How about, you know what? Maybe we should pre-record sometime what would happen if we were just to play it in case.
That's a good idea. But also, you could use Dustin's equipment because he does know how to use that.
Okay, I'll just do that then.
Okay.
And with
so
that,
you'd have Dustin do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This pilot may have been rough, but it's always...
Aren't you going to ask who I would have on? Well, you don't care? What happens if you die?
When I'm dead, I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter. Who would you have? Shemansky? I'm sorry, Beermansky.
No.
Matthew Phillips?
Yeah, I think it would. I think I would have Matthew Phillips.
That's a good one.
No disrespect to any of the other listeners or friends, but Matt Phillips...
Who knows me best?
Knows you best, and to be honest with you, I've never met a nicer, wholesome guy.
You want to hate him because you think that can't possibly be the case.
No.
But that is him. That is truly him.
He's so nice, I feel uncomfortable around him.
He is the best man that I know.
Will he be the best man at your wedding?
And with that, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
We like you.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.